Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael. Welcome to the Gas and Gavel YouTube channel. Today we have this 2024 Chevy Corvette in torch red with a jet black interior. This is the base of all base models, the 1LT. There's 0 options, and some would call this a poverty spec Corvette, but I call this the smart money Corvette. This newest generation of the Corvette, entitled the C8, is powered by a 6.2-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine that is mid-mounted behind the front seats like a true exotic sports car. The 6.2-liter V8 naturally aspirated motor pushes out 495 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque. All that power is transferred to the rear wheels via an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. The C8 Corvette has a top speed of 184 miles per hour and does the 0 to 60 time in under 3 seconds at a pretty blazing fast 2.9 seconds. So to show you guys the proof that this is truly a almost bare bones Chevy Corvette, I actually had the window sticker here, and I'm going to swing around right here and kind of show you guys what this is all about. Again, this is a 2024 Chevy Stingray Coupe, and it is again a 1LT package, which is the base package. As a reminder to everybody, the Chevy Corvette in the Stingray form comes in a 1LT, 2LT, and 3LT. 3LT being the most highly optioned of the narrow body Corvettes in the Stingray form. So again, it's finished in torch red, jet black, and again, only standard equipment. And the base MSRP price came out to essentially $71,000 before taxes, and the total vehicle price was $73,000. And again, the only options that this car really has is the factory performance exhaust that came out to $1195. It also came with the factory installed front spoiler and the rear spoiler, which came out to $595. And they also opted for the black exhaust tips, which are the quad tips that you see in the back in the exterior review, and also a carbon painted wheels. Again, you see the wheels with the black with silver trim, and that was a $1,000 option. And the last thing that they added was well, essentially that's it. So again, I'm showing you guys that this is the base of all Chevy Corvettes C8s. Now, some people would call this probably the poor man spec Corvette C8, but in my eyes, would actually probably be the smart money man spec of the C8. But we'll find out during the test drive and the review again of this 2024 base model C8 Chevy Corvette. So a little background about myself. I'm a Japanese car guy and an exotic car guy, Italian roots, but I do have a secret love for Corvettes. In fact, when a website called Toro.com for car rentals came out, one of the first 2 cars that I rented off the platform way back in 2019, shortly before the C8 came out, was a C7 Grand Sport and a C7 Z06. As a reminder, the C7 Grand Sport was essentially a base Corvette motor with the wide-body Z06. After I rented that, I was curious about what the Z06 was really like, and when I jumped into that Z06, whew, it blew my mind. So I'm really excited to share the experience of the C8 Corvette with the mid-engine setup and 495 horsepower. In 2025, the C7 Z06 is still a machine that is definitely still a force to be reckoned with. So I'm excited to see how this C8 Corvette in the base form compares to the C7 Grand Sport and the C7 Z06. And to show proof of my rentals, again, here is my Toro account. And if you look very closely, in 2019 I rented a Chevy Corvette, I believe it's a 2019, and a Chevy Corvette 2018. Let's see what this says here. Oh, yes, it is. So the first one was a Grand Sport, and then the other one was, again, this was a Z06. I remember it was orange. Yeah, it was like an orange Z06. So again, those cars were super, super impressive, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this car is like when they move the motor to the back, like a true Italian exotic sports car. The new generation of the C8 Corvette comes not only in 3 trim levels, but it also comes in 3 different versions. It is currently the year 2025. The C8 Corvette debuted in the year 2020. And what you see here is the first iteration of the C8 Corvette, which is the basic Corvette, entitled the Stingray. Again, the Stingray has the narrow body and the 495 horsepower mid-mounted V8. Above the Corvette Stingray, you have the bigger dog, the Z06. And again, here's the image of the Corvette Z06. Again, the biggest distinguishing features of the Z06 is, again, the 600 plus horsepower mid-mounted V8 and the wider fenders and fender flares, excuse me, front and rear, and much more aggressive race bumpers, front and rear. So again, you have the base Corvette, the Stingray, and then you have the Z06, and then this year, you now have the biggest dog of them all, the Corvette ZL1 with a V8 twin turbo pushing out almost 1100 horsepower. And here's an image of that Corvette ZL1 that I was speaking about. Again, 1100 horsepower V8 twin turbo with a bunch of carbon aero attached to it, and again with a 170,000 MSRP price tag compared to the again base C8 Corvette that you see here, which retails again MSRP below $70,000. Some interesting history regarding the Corvette. The Corvette has been in continuous production since 1953 with the introduction with the first generation Corvette, the Corvette C1, and it has ran continuously since 53 all the way up to what you see here now, which is the current generation of the Corvette moniker, the C8 with its mid-engine platform. The term or the name Corvette was actually named not even after an animal or like most other auto manufacturers. It was actually named after a ship, a warship to be in fact. So again, the original moniker or the original origin of the again the Chevy Corvette name is essentially from a warship, which I assume that warship was probably a pretty fast ship, I assume. So the Corvette emblem, or the logo itself, was actually created, if you take a look closely, it's actually composed of 2 flags, essentially race flags. So on the left, you have the racer, the black and white checkered race flag, indicating the final lap when things should be ending. And to the right, we have the Chevy logo in the right flag, and with a V design. And the last interesting tidbit regarding the Corvette logo is like right behind the Chevy logo, you're going to see this little emblem right here. And apparently some sort of French emblem pronounced fleur de lis. And essentially it's, long story short, back in the days, Corvette tried to put an American flag onto there. The American government was like, no, no, no. So then the guy who tried to design the emblem was like, what should we do? What should we do? And he wanted to pay tribute to the heritage of the founder of the Corvette, or the designer of Corvette. And essentially that person came from French roots. So again, this emblem is rooted in essentially French history, and it pays homage to essentially, again, a piece of the Corvette founder's history, I suppose. So very cool. And again, this is a tribute to the founder of the Chevrolet Motor Company, who again came from French roots. So again, American supercar, but again, they're still, the French were always had our backs, I assume. So very cool. Simply 2 flags and an emblem, but such a story to it. Now let's begin the exterior tour of this base C8 Corvette. I will start with the front end of the Corvette C8. Now the front headlights, which some would deem Ferrari-esque, look definitely aggressive, and they are all made of LED. So you have LED daytime running lights, LED side markers, LED high beams, and LED low beams. This is the driver's side. I will circle on over to the passenger side. definitely really aggressive. I really love this little L side marker on it. Again, all full LEDs. Right underneath both headlights, we do have these functional honeycomb grills. And apparently behind each one of these grills that are underneath the headlights is a radiator. So there's one radiator there, and the other radiator is mounted again behind the other front honeycomb grill that contrasts very well with the red paint and the black grill. But again, the engine is mounted in the rear while the radiators here are mounted in the front. Definitely a smart way to cool the engine down by mounting the radiators right up front here. Now scrolling onto the front bumper of the Corvette C8. Again, this is the base Corvette model. This is what I deem the narrow body, whereas if you purchase the Z06 and up, that actually has a wide body finish with much wider fenders. But again, definitely still clean. And the front bumper of the base C8 is also as aggressive as the Z06. In this particular C8, it does have the optional factory installed by Chevy front spoiler finisher. Again, very cool, very aggressive, gives it a little nice overhang, and again is a factory installed option. And I believe it comes with the rear spoiler, and I believe the factory option for this front lip is around $500. Now let's take a look at the wheel and tire package for the base C8 Corvette. The base C8 Corvette comes with 19-inch wheels in front and 20-inch wheels in the rear. The front tires measure a 245, 35, 19, and they are wrapped around these 5-spoke gunmetal with a silver finish on the rim. Definitely very cool, and definitely contrasts very well with the red, torch red exterior. And right behind the, again, these 19-inch C8 base wheels are 4-piston. It says Corvette, but I'm pretty sure they're Brembo brakes behind some steel wheels. Still very cool, very aggressive. And again, although this is the base C8, these are, I want to remind people, forged wheels. So definitely very strong and also very light. Now let's circle back to the rear of the C8 Corvette, where we have slightly wider and slightly bigger tires. Again, it's a staggered setup. In the rear, we have a 20-inch tire and a 20-inch rim, and the rear measures a pretty thick, even though this is narrow body, 305/30 ZR rated 20-inch Michelin tires. Definitely very aggressive. And again, the 5-spoke with the gunmetal finish and the silver exterior rim, very nice contrast. And again, we have the rear, we have the Corvette branded calipers. This one is painted black, I believe, but you can have these calipers painted different colors, such as red or yellow. On the rear wheels, let's take a look at the side markers. So the side mirrors, the side mirrors are both heated and has an integrated turn signal in the on each side. So again, these are heated mirrors with the integrated turn signal in the mirror. Very cool. And on the driver's side, you also have the gas cap. And let's not forget, the biggest feature of the new mid-engine Corvette are these definitely needed and definitely functional huge side intakes. And if you can see inside there, definitely functional, because again, the mid-engine Corvette, the engine is in the rear of the car, and it definitely needs these really wide, again, wide side intakes to suck in all the air and cool up that mid-engine V8. Another really awesome feature about the Chevy Corvette is, again, when the Chevy Corvette C8 was released, it was released in 2 flavors. The first flavor is a coupe, and the second was a powered hardtop convertible. But bonus, if you do get the coupe, is actually a removable Targa roof. So check this out. So in this particular C8 that you see here, this is a body colored roof, but in actuality you can also option this in a transparent roof that you can see through, and also one that's finished in carbon fiber. And we'll show you later on in the video how that works. So we're going to remove this roof, put it into the trunk, and again, your coupe actually becomes a Targa convertible. Definitely a 2-for-1 bonus. So the Chevy Corvette does, because of the mid-engine, actually come with 2 trunks. Now on the spec sheet, it's listed as 13 cubic, I think, cubic square feet of space. I assume that's probably divided by the front and the rear. So let's take a look at the front first, and then we'll take a look at the back later, where the real engine is. So in the front, what's interesting is that the front is a power frunk essentially. So you press twice on your key, this thing will open up. Let's take a look how deep this is. So here's the front trunk of the C8 Corvette. Well, the first of the two trunks. Again, it's pretty deep. It's not that wide, but you can definitely fit about probably 2 backpacks in here, or a travel bag. Not too bad. And on the side here, you also do have a power outlet here. And in case you're trying to kidnap some sort of person that can even fit in here, they also have an emergency button to escape your clutches. So very, very cool, and great safety feature. Here you also have your access to your windshield wiper fluid, and also access to fill up some other type of fluid. Again, multiple uses in the front trunk, including possible criminal activity. So again, you do have a front trunk, and again, I want to show you how the power front trunk operates. So usually for a trunk, you have to slam it down and then make sure it goes down. But for the Corvette in the front, all you have to do is just lay it down and push it down. So in most other trunks, you kind of have to slam it down and make sure that it's really clutched in. But for the Corvette's front trunk, you essentially just need to lay it down and just give it a good squeeze, and the computer or the motorized motor will just close the rest down. So very, very cool. Great feature, and excellent use of the front space of this Chevy Corvette. Now let's scroll on to the rear of the rear trunk, and that is where all the magic happens. Now we're going to go ahead and operate the rear trunk of it and show you the rear trunk. Let's take a look at what that looks like. And again, the rear trunk is exactly where you store, again, that target top whenever you want to convert this into a convertible. And here we go. Let's peek around. We'll take a look at the motor in a little bit. But again, this is the rear trunk of the C8 Corvette. And again, the target roof, once removed, goes right back here and fits nice and snug. And if you don't put your roof in here, apparently Corvette says you can fit a set of golf clubs back here. Definitely pretty big for a set of golf clubs, yeah. So again, you have about, between the two trunks, around 13 cubic space of trunk space, and I think it's excellent use of the extra space that is not needed when the engine is in front. Very, very nice. And while we have the rear trunk open, we're going to transition and show you the crown jewel of the C8 Corvette. And again, this is the first generation where the Chevy Corvette placed their motor in the back of the seats. Again, this is a mid-engine sports car like any true exotic should be. And here it is, the, again, naturally aspirated V8 pushing over 490 horsepower, mounted again through this window. You can see the front seats, but here is that V8 naturally aspirated motor. Very nice. And again, you can see the motor through this glass whenever you close it. Now again, this is a base model, but I know in the there are factory options where you can actually get these sidebars in carbon fiber. But again, this is a base spec model, and but there's definitely nothing base spec about this mid-mounted V8. And I think this is what everyone's been waiting for. So again, the rear end of the Chevy Corvette is where the motor is mounted like a true exotic. So again, in the base Corvette or the Corvette Coupe, you actually do get this window glass, and you do actually get to see the cool engine underneath it. If you opt for the convertible hardtop, the motorized hardtop, you actually can't see the engine. So again, another reason why it's a great reason to get the Coupe. Very, very cool. And again, everything is functional. And check out these functional grills, and these are functional outlets to let out all that heat that's produced from that 490 plus horsepower mid-mounted V8 motor. Very, very nice. And right above this glass, you do have a rear view camera, which you definitely need, because when I take you on a test drive later, you'll see why that this car has almost zero visibility from the rear. It's actually pretty dangerous. And I'm not sure if it's an option or not, but they definitely need to make that standard, which I believe rear view cameras are standard, but in this car it's probably, I would say, mandatory. But again, the magic is right there. Scrolling on back of the rear trunk, you have your, again, Stingray mascot swimming in the back. Very, very cool. And this is the base model C8 Corvette, and the base model C8 Corvette comes with this really subtle, I guess it's called like lip or duckbill spoiler. I think it's very, very cool. And if you opt for the higher packages, you do get some sort of a higher wing that's a pedestal mounted, but I actually prefer the clean look of the base wing for two reasons. Number one, it just looks really, really clean, and the second is that later when we show you the taking off the Targa top, actually with the lower profile wing, it's much easier to stow that entire roof into the trunk. Whereas if you have that little pedestal mounted carbon fiber wing, it's mounted a little higher, so you're gonna have to lift the roof over it and under it, and it gets really, really cumbersome. So again, definitely functional and clean looking. I actually prefer, again, the base Corvette rear optional wing. Now we're gonna scroll to the rear of the C8 Corvette, and again, definitely very race-like, definitely exotic car territory right here. Again, you have this rear black rear diffuser all the way across. Very, very nice. And inside, again, this is a rear mid-engine Corvette, and these are all functional. Again, these rear outlets, again, to probably release all that heat from the rear motor. Definitely very cool. I love the contrast between, again, the black and the red. Definitely very nice. Scrolling on over. Again, driver's side also has that vent. And another special thing about the rear end of this C8 Corvette is the factory optional race exhaust. Here it is a quad tip exhaust from the factory, and when you option this $1,000 plus factory race exhaust, it actually adds about 5 horsepower to your Chevy Corvette Stingray C8. So instead of making 490 horsepower, I believe it makes 495 horsepower, all for about $1,000. And again, this is a factory installed option, so again, definitely probably still covered under warranty. So apparently, if you options, there's factory race exhaust, also entitled the MPP Performance Exhaust. It's interesting because it actually switches between two different tones, both loud and quiet. So I guess it's one of those variable exhausts. So it's usually quiet when your car is in touring driving mode, and then it becomes very, very loud during Z, track, or sport, which basically leaves the baffles partially open. Again, very, very cool option. I think that's probably a necessity, but I definitely like it. And this one has a quad, blacked out quad tip exhaust. Definitely harkens back to the older C8. Very, very nice. Transitioning from the quad exhaust tips, you do have the redesigned C8 tail lights on full LED. I really love the contrast. You have this like kind of black piano finish with the red kind of like turn signals on the sides, and then you have the clear reverse lights. Very, very cool. I love the contrast. I think it really fits the C8 Corvette really well, and it's a nice departure from the circle lights from the previous C8 generation. And right in the back, in case you've forgotten what car you're driving, you are driving a C8 Corvette. Very, very cool in black lettering. Very nice. Again, this is your exterior tour of your 2024 base C8 Corvette. We're going to do a real quick tour of the passenger side of the C8 Corvette. Again, you have the 20-inch rear tires. You have that really, really aggressive functional side vent with this black finish here. I really think that really breaks up the body color and really highlights this really functional and really deep vent. Very, very cool. And again, you have that powered side mirrors with the integrated side lights, and they are heated. So again, very, very nice from all angles. So again, reminder folks, this is a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8, which is 495 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque. And all that power is transferred to, again, to the only transmission that's available in the C8 Corvette, and that's an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. And this mid-mounted V8 is capable of producing, again, a top speed of 184 miles per hour. And this takes this car using the rear wheels from 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. So again, definitely what was needed in the Corvette sports car. And again, it's one step closer to being a true exotic, or maybe even better than a true exotic. All right, before we take you on an interior tour of the Chevy Corvette C8, let's take a look at the key that you get when you buy one of these. So again, this seems like a regular, I guess, Chevy remote, but in the back, you do have the Chevy Corvette emblem embedded in the back. But again, this L shape reminds you of the rear taillights and the again the front headlights. So again, matchy. Flip out to the front. You have all these different buttons. Again, you have your lock and unlock on top, and then the bottom left and bottom right is the where it says X2 is your powered front trunk and powered rear trunk. So you click that twice and it'll pop each one open. And then you have your emergency horn here, and again in the middle is a very special button with a red circle. Again, this car does have remote start, so you press that twice and you can start your car without even stepping into it. So again, this is your Chevy C8 remote. Definitely very cool, fits very well, very light, and it's a great design for the base C8 Corvette. So I want to demonstrate to you guys the center button on the key. Again, there is a center button with a red halo around it. I'm wondering what that is. So essentially, the base Corvette C8 does come with a remote start, meaning that you can start your C8 Corvette straight from your remote. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock the car, and the car is unlocked, and we're going to go ahead and let's see if we can start it up right now. So oh, it worked, and there you go. So the remote start starts up the car. For those cold or hot summer days, cold nights, you can turn up the heat. Again, the headlights turn on, and now you can really see the again the full LED headlights. Those are the daytime running lights. Again, we'll swing it back to the passenger side. Oh, very cool. That's a really cool feature of the C8 Corvette. Let's swing around to the back. So again, the lights turn on, the engine turns on, and you can go ahead and just jump right in, and your car will essentially be nice and warmed up. So again, that was demonstrating to you the circle button in the middle. So again, you press twice, and you do have a remote start in the new C8 base Corvette. Let's go ahead and shut this down. Alright folks, I'm going to attempt to show you guys how to remove this top of the Corvette C8, and I'm going to attempt to do it with just one hand. So again, I'm holding a camera with my left hand. I'm going to go ahead and use my right hand, and let's see if we can do this. So in order to open the Targa top, so there's two latches right here. You'll see one latch here. I believe the latch is right here, and then you'll see the other latch here. So what you want to do is just, you want to go ahead and undo the latch here. That's one. And undo this one too, that's two. And back here, there's a third latch here, and this one's a little tricky. I'm gonna try to do it. I only have one hand right now, but again, what you want to do is you want to hold on to this little switch right here, and that thing will pop right out. Again, be careful there, because it just pops right out. You can definitely hurt yourself. But again, you gotta unlatch that. So again, now the entire roof right now is actually detached now, and technically I can just lift it up here at one time. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go around and open the trunk first to show you how everything fits. So I'm now going to the back trunk. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. There we go. So I'm going to have it opened up, and I just want to show you. So there's these little plastic points right here. One, and another plastic point two, and another one here, and another one here. And remember those spots? And you're just going to remember that again, the roof has been dismounted. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to open this up. All right, again, I'm holding a camera with my left hand. I got my right hand. This should be a two. You can do this technically in the manual. It says you could do it a single person, but let's see if we can do it one-handed. So one-handed, what you're going to do is you want to just lift it up. See, as you can see, the front has been opened, and I'm probably just going to fast forward it and show you guys the rear, because all right folks, I tried to do it one hand, but that wasn't working out. But I do have the roof held in my one hand right now, and as you can see, there are mounting points here, and there's a mounting point at the bottom and another mounting point right here. And what you're going to do is, again, you want to match those two bottom right there, those little buttons right there. You want to match it to the latch down there. So again, you're just gonna pick that up and you're gonna slide it right in there. There we go. Almost one-handed. So again, I'm gonna make sure that the holes line up in there. And once the hole's lined up, you're gonna just push on down and the whole entire hood or the target roof is stored inside of the trunk of the C8 Corvette. Very, very cool. So you can see the target roof has been latched into there, and then again your power trunk, you can close it on up, and there it is. And now you have your now convertible Chevy Corvette. Let me go ahead and close the doors up so you guys can see what the target roof looks like. There we go. Very, very nice. Definitely, again, 2 cars in one. Definitely looks very aggressive. And we're going to do an interior tour with the top off, but I just wanted to show you what the target top looks like once you removed everything. Again, complete open air. And as I showed you, I almost did it one and a half hands. So again, the roof is actually pretty light. It's just a little tricky to put into the rear trunk, but again, changes the profile of this entire C8. Definitely very aggressive, very, very cool. And I think that's a great bonus in the base Corvette is the convertible target roof. Very, very cool. All right, we're going to jump in and start the interior tour of the Chevy Corvette C8. Okay, let's jump in to the inside of the Corvette C8 and take a look at the interior of Chevy's first mid-engine Corvette. So when you do want to open the door of the car, there is some sort of electric pad back here, so you can't reach behind this blade right here, and you'll feel like a little rubber piece, and you just want to give it a little pressure push. And when you do that, the whole door flies right open. So again, this car is finished in a torch red with a jet black interior. Very, very nice. Now let's take a look at the driver's side door panel first. So again, this is a base C8, but doesn't mean that there's anything base about it. In this one, again, it's all jet black leather with this white stitching, or white and silver stitching, and there's also this silver finish here on the door panel. And what I really like is that even though it's a base model, you do get this like kind of chrome finish right down here also. So you have this chrome, and you have this silver plastic finish, and then you have this kind of cross stitch, and then this black leather. And again, the base Corvette does come with a Bose 10 speaker sound system, but there is an option in higher packages for a 14 speaker Bose system. But again, in the base model, you do get a Bose supplied base sound system. Very, very nice, very, very clean. And from the driver's side door panel, we'll take a look at the interior with the top off. So again, this is the base Corvette C8, and these are the base Corvette race seats. These are entitled the GT1 seats, and they are bucket seats. They're definitely less aggressive than the GT2 and GT3 seats, but again, they're definitely still race buckets. Definitely a lot of side bolstering on the sides. Definitely keep you in place. Again, these are 8-way power adjustable race seats with the side seat belts. And to note, there is a optional option to actually get these colored seat belts. This one is basic black, but you can get it in like red and so on and so forth. So again, you have your power seat controls, moving the seat forward, backwards. So again, very, very cool. Powered race seats, very, very nice. Again, these are leather trimmed with the again, this white or silver cross stitch. Definitely very comfortable, and you do have the embossed Corvette logo in the headrest. Very, very nice. And on the side sill next to the door, you do have the this silver trim with, again, the Stingray logo and the Corvette logo. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and jump on into the Chevy Corvette, and I'll show you guys the functions of the door panel. So on the driver's side door panel, we'll go ahead and keep this open so you guys can see. So on the driver's side door panel that you see here, again on this silver trim, here you have your side mirror controls, and here you have your window up, window down, basic and straightforward. Right underneath this door handle here is your door open. So if you want to unlock the mechanical door, you're going to click that there, and the door will pop right open. You have your lock and unlock, and right underneath that you have 2 hidden buttons right down here, and this is to open your front trunk and to open your rear trunk. And again, they both are powered trunks. And I said to you earlier that the door handle to open the passenger side door is electronically controlled. So in any case, if your battery ever dies or your Corvette runs out of any sort of electrical power, there is right next to the driver's seat a manual latch release right on there. So again, you'll never really be locked out of your C8 Corvette. We're going to close up the door here, and let's take a look at the interior again of this base Chevy C8 Corvette. Okay, let's begin the interior tour in the driver's seat of the C8 Corvette. So again, this is Corvette's design language. It's a very essentially driver-focused interior. Looks like the cockpit of a jet fighter, and essentially everything's positioned kind of like facing towards you, whereas your passenger, you know, all they get to do is just enjoy the ride. So they're definitely the passenger princess, and they do get to enjoy these air vents. So again, they definitely can enjoy the air, but they definitely don't need to bother with all these switches. So again, it's very driver eccentric, which I think is pretty great. So again, this is the driver-centric setup of the C8 Corvette. Now, one of my favorite things about the C8 Corvette, and you don't find this in many exotic cars, is this steering wheel. It's very interesting. It's kind of like a double bottom, flat bottom steering wheel. So usually in exotic cars, you have this little flat bottom steering wheel so you can get in and out, you know, race car style. But in this one, there's actually a flat top. So again, this becomes kind of like a rectangular or like a cube steering wheel. Which looks kind of weird, but it's actually very, very functional. So again, the flat bottom allows people to get in and out of the low hung seats very easily, and this top flat bottom is really great because there is a factory option for a factory heads-up display, and by having this flat top steering wheel, you can definitely easily see that display. Another great thing about having this flat bottom right here is that essentially there's no steering wheel blocking your view of the front windshield. So the front windshield, you pretty much have a totally unobstructed view of where you're going. And with 400 plus horsepower in the mid-engine Corvette, you definitely want to know where you're going. So again, very, very nice. Again, this is leather wrapped with a silver, some sort of cross stitch inside. Definitely done very rich. You do have your paddle shifters to manually shift that 8-speed DCT up here, down on the other side. Again, very, very nice. And they do turn with the steering wheel. You have all your audio controls here, and onto the right, you have your horn here. Definitely very loud. Very, very nice. Down at the bottom, you have your volume controls on the right hand side, and the Z button here. What's a Z button? Is it a 350Z? No, it is not. So the Z button is essentially kind of like in the Lamborghini Urus video that we did recently. Again, I'll leave a link to that video below. There's a driving mode called Ego, and Ego, you could basically adjust to your own personal driving preference a driving mode. So this allows you to basically pretty much customize everything. So you can customize the throttle response, you can customize the acceleration, so on and so forth. Basically, you can adjust everything, suspension, everything to your liking instead of all the preset modes. So again, there is a Z mode there. Very, very nice. And scrolling on out to the right, you do have your windshield wiper stock here to the right hand side. You have your headlight controls to the left, and underneath to the bottom left, you have your driver's side air vent. And right underneath that, it's kind of hard to see. I'm going to open this door here so it's a little more light. Underneath it is actually here. It's how you set your emergency brake right here. You're going to pull it up right there. You can adjust it and dim the headlights and taillights right there. And while we're down here, let's take a look. You do have these again, race pedals that are mounted on these like silver stocks, so definitely very comfortable. So again, only 2 pedals. As a reminder, the C8 Corvette only comes in a DC transmission. There is no option for a manual transmission in the C8 Corvette. Now continuing on to the right, this essentially section right here is your transmission. So again, your transmission is a DC to DC transmission, and everything is controlled by basically either pushing a button or pulling a switch. So here, when you press down P, your car goes into park. When you want to go in reverse, you got to lift that up, the car will go into reverse. You want to go neutral, you press that down, again, it'll go into neutral. And you want to go into drive, you go and pull that up, and it becomes drive. And if you want to go to manual mode, again, you push that down. So again, your transmission is essentially a series of push down or pull up switches. Very, very cool. Here is the turning off the traction control off, in case you want to do some burnouts. And there is a launch control option in the base Corvette, but you know, we'll save that for another time. And right next to the transmission lever is this little knob here, and I wonder what it was. And on top of it, it says mode. So basically behind this little leather pouch, I suppose, is a knob back there, and when you turn the knob left and right, it'll adjust the factory drive mode. So it'll go from track to sport to wet and so on and so forth. So again, we'll show that later during the drive, but again, this is where basically you control your drive modes of the Chevy Corvette. Again, 2 cup holders for the driver and passenger, and I'm going to move on to the kind of controversial, or I feel is controversial, section of the driver-centric interior, which is this huge, just like lineup of buttons that go straight all the way down. So essentially, this entire line is essentially your climate control for the passenger and driver. And even though it does control the passenger side, it is tilted towards your direction. But I suppose the passenger can come on over. So again, you can adjust the driver's side temperatures up and down here. And again, you have your climate controls. You can control your vents, where they go, your AC, your fan speed, your AC, and you know, recirculate air. This is your rear window defrosters, and this is your passenger side adjustment of their climate controls. So again, I would prefer that they had done something along the lines of you'll be seeing. I'm not sure if it's up yet, but there will be a BMW 760i interior up soon, car review. And I like that one because basically in the BMW, you took all these analog switches and just threw it into the into the electronic navigation, so you have nothing here. So I actually prefer if they just did that and just maybe left this either like just like a carbon fiber strip, or maybe even like a door handle for your passenger and driver. But again, when you stare at it long enough, there's something about this that just doesn't quite fit this interior. But again, some people do like the ergonomics of it, I suppose. But again, I think that it's a little funny to just have a bunch of line of switches there. But again, it's functional, but does it look good? Maybe. Scrolling on over, again, very cool. We have this rear windshield, and what's great about this, again, this rear view mirror is that it's not just a regular rear view mirror. When I start the CarPlay, you'll see that it actually has a rear view camera that looks out to the back. And as you can see, the back of the C8 Corvette, the engine is back there somewhere with this rear glass, but because of the rear mid-engine, you can't see anything out of it. It's actually very, very difficult to reverse in this vehicle. But yeah, you do have again a electronic rear view mirror, which is great. Up here, you do have your emergency OnStar, you have your SOS, and you have your emergency lights. Again, if you ever need to race somebody, I suppose, you can hit your emergency lights right there. Very, very nice. Your driver and passenger do have these side mirrors to, again, check the hair because the top is down. Very, very nice. And again, remember the target top, all removed. Let's see what's behind the middle of the seats. The middle of the seats, again, you have this like big speaker back here that says Corvette Stingray, in case you forget. Very, very nice. And back here you have, there's supposed to be some sort of charging pad back here, but again, you could always leave your cell phone or something back here. Let's see what's down here. Oh, and right up below the cup holders, again, you have these. What is going on here? Oh, this is essentially your I guess electronic charging station. So you can go ahead, and there is a USB and USB-C port here, and you can go ahead and charge your phone or charge electronics, charge your GoPro into there, and just close that up, and it serves as a nice little armrest. Very, very nice. We are going to now go circle over to the passenger side. We're going to lift over there. Again, this is the passenger side seat. Again, this is the base GT1 seat. Very, very nice. And again, it is embossed with the Corvette logo. And again, just like the passenger side, in the silver trim, you have the window down, window up. You have the lock and unlock. You have your power door switch to open up the door. And again, if you run out of power, there is a manual switch right underneath the seat. And again, the seat is, just like the driver's side, 8-way adjustable. All right, let's take a look at the electronic screens of the Chevy Corvette. So in the newest updated C8 Chevy Corvette, is essentially all your instrumentation is basically composed of two different electronic screens. You have a 12 inch excuse me, instrument cluster, which is in the center, and you have this 8-inch touchscreen on the side. You'll definitely get a better look at it when I start the car. So again, to start the car, it is a keyless push to start. So again, your keys are here as long as it's close. Usually I just kind of throw mine in a cup holder here. Unfortunately, in other exotic sports cars, usually they'll have like a kind of a slot to rest your key. I'm not sure if this car has it, but I'll just put it in my pocket for now. But as long as it's close, you're gonna go ahead and put your foot on the brake down there. There you go, my foot's on the brake, my foot is on the brake. And your push to start button is right next to the screen, right underneath those big silver buttons. So here we go, 1, 2, and 3. And we're starting up the C8 Corvette. So again, your instrumentation panel is all electronic in this, again, 12-inch electronic display. So again, you have your speedometer, your speedometer right there, your RPM meter right there in the center. You have your electric speedometer on the side. It'll tell you what gear you're in, and again, your current mileage and your gas and your temperature. And there is some sort of race computer that you can kind of test your G-forces and so forth. And again, we'll get into that later, but again, this is the base screen that you see here. Before I forget about the passenger side, I was looking for the life of me. I was looking for some sort of power plug for the passenger side, and apparently, if you need a power plug, there is a plug way deep back here somewhere. Here it is. We're going to flip that open, and if you can see, there's a little kind of like a latch right there, and that's where one of your power plugs are. It's super hidden, super hard to get to, but again, on your passenger side, you do have that option to plug it in there, but I don't know why it's so awkward. It's just like way back into there. So again, you do have an extra kind of plug outlet for one of those cigarette lighter powered plugs in there, but it's in the passenger side, hidden way at the bottom. Awkward position. So here you see you have your again about 8-inch infotainment screen, and again the car is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay ready. It does have some sort of wireless internet. There is an option for Bluetooth connectivity. There's 4G hotspot, and again, this car is equipped with a base. Again, this is a base C8 with a 10 speaker Bose sound system, but in the higher packages there is an option for a 14 speaker Bose audio system. This car does have navigation, but for some reason when you go to navigation, you do have to have some sort of a payment for it or whatnot. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. Another thing about the Corvette C8 is that for the life of me, my phone would not connect to the Bluetooth. I'm not sure if anyone out there has that issue, so again, comment below if you ever had an issue connecting your Apple Bluetooth phone to the Bluetooth of the C8 Corvette. I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. And when you do put your car in reverse, again, there is a pretty nice rear view camera, and definitely, I said before, that you definitely do need it because you can't see anything from the rear. And scrolling onto the front, now that we have the rear view camera on, I wanted to show you again, this is electronic rear view camera from the back. So again, if you want to see the rear view camera, you go and do that. But if you want to look at your face, there's a little switch right here. Pull that down and it becomes a regular mirror again. Very, very cool. Back to electronics. Very, very nice. Again, we're gonna put this back in park. So again, you do have a navigation screen, music. Again, you have AM, FM radio, Sirius, Bluetooth, pretty much everything you need. It's pretty basic, pretty clean, and again, no frills infotainment screen. So again, volume knob and home button.
4444 310 322 4444.
Attention small business owners needing financing. Switch.
So now I want to demonstrate with you the different modes. So again, when you change the modes of the Chevy Corvette, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So again, I told everyone in previous videos, my favorite thing to do is let's just go to track mode, race mode. So again, in order to go to track mode, race mode, you just turn this knob to the right, and it'll on the screen, it'll show you this is sport mode. Very cool, and it's very I guess like some sort of video game thing going on. So every time you change it to a different mode, this is track. This is probably the highest setting. And again, there's this kind of Gran Turismo like screen, and now we're in track mode. So again, This is touring mode, and then there is I believe there is my mode, which is again your own settings, and then there's weather mode. I assume that's when it's raining and so forth. I mean, definitely this Corvette is like driving in the rain, so pretty straightforward. But again, my favorite mode is the track mode. Everything becomes yellow, and again, traction control turns off, and you can definitely hear the baffles of this factory performance exhaust open up. So there you have it, folks. This is the interior of the 2024 Chevy Corvette, and now we're going to go on my favorite part of any car review, and that is the test drive of the C8 base Corvette. All right, good morning, folks. Here we are in the 2024 Chevy Corvette C8 Stingray, base of all basics Corvette, and we are on a test drive. And one of the main reasons why I'm not choosing to go to some sort of a canyon road or whatnot is, again, I am trying to reiterate that the base C8 Corvette is a great daily driver, all around balanced car, and sitting in traffic is the best way to demonstrate that. I mean, imagine if you're in the ZL1 with 1,000 horsepower, ready to charge forward. Again, balance, people. It is about I guess rush hour right now, 8 a.m. and again, I think it's a perfect environment for the base Corvette. So while we're stuck in traffic here, I'm gonna go ahead and go over the again, the drive mode. So again, you have your drive mode selector, and depending on what mode you're in, sport, track, and so on and so forth, the variable exhaust, that is again a factory race exhaust, the baffles will open up depending on what mode you're in. So for example, if you're in track mode, I would assume that all the baffles open up and you get the full exhaust note. And then when you put it into other modes, I assume that baffles would close up. So again, right now I am going to go ahead and just go to my favorite mode. You guys know what that is, and it's always going to be track mode. So again, we're in track mode now. The screen changes, you get all that fancy Gran Turismo graphics, and again, so I'm in automatic mode right now. There is an option again for you to manually shift by pressing the M button, but right now I'm going to go ahead and just so I reiterate again, there is something quiet about this performance exhaust. So again, this is supposed to be the race exhaust from Chevy Corvette, but again, it is actually very, very quiet. There's no pops, no gurgles. It's actually pretty subdued. So I guess some people like that. Personally, again, I'm not really a fan of that. So now that the roads are a little opened up, I'm gonna go ahead and shift over to manual mode. So when you want to shift yourself with the paddle shifters, you can go ahead and press the manual mode, which is M. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Let me look for a quieter street, because I did want to show you some cool features when it comes to the manual mode, such as decoupling the transmission. Again, I'm gonna need to find a quieter road. Give me a second here. So here I am in manual mode, and when you're in manual mode, you're essentially, the right shifter, the right paddle is your upshifter, and your left paddle is your downshifter. So again, you can manually downshift and upshift your 8-speed, again, dual clutch transmission. So this is me downshifting from third to second. And it's odd, even when I hit the higher RPMs with the, again, the manual mode, the exhaust is just, you know, it's just there. I can't imagine what the OEM non-factory race exhaust would sound like. So again, you do have a manual mode, and again, when we get to a quieter area, I do want to show you that this car does have a launch control option, and there's also a cool feature. So again, there's a way to, I gotta look at the, so basically when you pull back on both of the, I guess the paddles, the engine essentially decouples from the motor or whatnot, and it's essentially kind of like shifting into neutral if you had a true manual. I'm not gonna do that now, but let me see if I could pull that up on my I was reading through the factory manual. Let me see here. Okay, so there's something called double paddle declutch. Basically, and the warning label is pretty hilarious. Use the double clutch on public roads could result in exhaust noise in excess of local laws. So basically double paddle declutch, basically you pull both paddles back at once and it'll shift essentially the transmission to neutral. And let me finish this turn, I'll finish that thought. All right, folks, let me pull over right here and let me get myself in order. All right. So again, there is a way that when you manually shift, I was saying there is an option here in the book. It says, so a double paddle declutch basically allows the vehicle to temporarily disconnect the engine from the wheels. Similar to being in neutral, its feature is activated by pulling, again, you basically pull back and hold both upshift and downshift paddles. So essentially what I'm doing, I'm not gonna do it right now, but basically you pull both back, and while you're in manual mode, the M mode on transmission, and basically again, so basically it'll separate the transmission from your motor, and basically you'll be in neutral the whole time until you're released. So I imagine this is kind of like dumping the clutch, or like basically like revving up and then letting go, essentially, but with using the DCT. So again, hold down both, and when you're ready for the engine to couple it back up with the transmission, you can go ahead and just release the levers. And again, essentially, again, this is called a double paddle declutch. And the reason why they're telling you about this is because in order for you to do launch control, you need the transmission to be in that state of what they call double paddle declutch. So manual launch can be activated to gain more precise control over the engine speed. To activate launch control, first enter double paddle declutch. So again, release and pull both sides. The performance transmission active light will illuminate in the gauge cluster and indicate that manual launch has been activated. When manual launch is activated, the engine will respond differently when the accelerator pedal is pressed compared to a normal double paddle declutch. I wish it would just give clearer instructions on, I just want to do a burnout. I just want to do a launch. Well, we'll do that later. Let's go ahead and continue on the test drive right now, and you know, we'll get into that when we find quieter roads. So I'm gonna go ahead and so let's just talk about the drive character of the C8 Corvette. So first off, these, again, GT1 basic race seats, 8-way adjustable. They are very, very comfortable. You'll see it later on at the end of the review what I'm talking about, but again, they hold you in without being so uncomfortable that you can't go on long road trips. It's actually very, very comfortable. It just feels like, again, these side bolsters they hold you in on your hips, they hold you on your legs, you're not sliding around everywhere. There's pretty good lumbar support considering these are race seats. So again, very, very comfortable. Again, I love this the steering wheel. Again, the driver-centric cockpit is it's a great design. And again, this double, this cuboidal steering wheel is great for exiting the vehicle and for again, viewing out this big window. So the 495 horsepower is delivered pretty smoothly to again, that DCT transmission. I think I love how naturally aspirated motors respond the minute you step on the brake, the gas, the car goes. There's no turbo lag, there's no whine, it's just pure, just mechanical sound. It's beautiful. And again, this car is not the most powerful thing on the road, but again, I would probably say with 495 horsepower, you're probably going to outpower 99% of the cars that surround you in your daily commute. So for the C8 Corvette, this C8 Corvette does have, let me get around this guy's truck in a few minutes. So the C8 Corvette, it actually does have the base brakes are 4-piston Brembos, and it's what I'm driving on right now. And I can tell you that the brakes are pretty solid. I mean, you step on it too hard, you definitely feel that pinch. But again, these are the basic Brembo brakes, but there is an option in the higher packages. For example, I believe the LT2 options or LT3, you get a larger, I believe, 6-piston Brembo brakes. But again, Brembos nonetheless, and the basics basically they definitely do their good job without being overwhelming. So suspension wise, this car is a base model. It does not have the Z51 package. The Z51 package, you would get an additional bigger brakes, and again, you'll get a race suspension. I feel like for daily driving, although the car does have a little bit of body lean, it's probably stiffer than 99% of other cars out there, especially rear-wheel drive cars that you see on the road today. But again, it's about balance. You don't want something too stiff, especially when you're daily driving a sports car like this. I think that it gives enough stiff suspension so you can go for spirited driving, but you're not like breaking your back over all these like humps, especially here where I am in LA. As you can see, the roads are never that perfect. Here again, we're gonna open it up here. Oh yeah. So again, the car is fast, but I would tell you right now that it doesn't give me that feeling that when I describe in other videos, for example in the Lamborghini Urus and so forth, you don't get that like I don't want to get too much, I'm gonna pee in my pants feeling, or you're gonna die feeling. Again, it's a controllable, again, a controllable acceleration. So again, it's not a neck breaking acceleration, but it's also not a Toyota Corolla. So again, I'm under this underpass, and as many of you know, when you go through an underpass like that, it should be actually very, very you know, it should amplify the sound of the exhaust. But if anything, it's kind of odd how going through that underpass, the exhaust actually gets quieter. I'm not really understanding what that's about, but again, thankfully there are a lot of aftermarket options in the C8 exhaust field, and you know, that fix that right up. But again, if I were to spec my own base C8 Corvette, I think I would forgo paying Corvette the $1,200 that they charge you for the exhaust, and I would just prorate that to a an aftermarket company that maybe puts out a more louder or more enthusiast spec exhaust. We're gonna let this ambulance, this fire truck pass. Before I continue, what I was gonna say next. So another reason why I feel that this is a great balanced daily driver, again, is because of the drive mode. So there's actually a mode on here. Let me go on to it, and it's called weather, and essentially there's a C8 Corvette driving in the rain or snow. So again, you know, sunny days, you know, you put that in track mode, and then on those rainy days, you know, you can just put into again the weather mode, and I assume that probably just turns on a lot of traction control and maybe depowers your engine or whatnot, makes it a little safer to drive in wet traction roads. So again, you have many options, drive modes, and again, you do have the Z button, and as a reminder, you can kind of adjust basically your own settings for the for basically like a custom driving mode that's outside of the factory specs. So you can basically adjust the steering wheel feel, you can adjust the brake feel, you can adjust the suspension, you can adjust the response of the engine and the transmission. So again, it's very customizable to your liking. So in the speedometer, right here, stoplight. So in the speedometer, there's many options with the main speedometer screen. So what's interesting is that this car actually is equipped with what they call like a race computer. So you can actually test the 0 to 60 time and record yourself. So I mean, they're not really encouraging you to like race on the street, but they kind of are. So let me get to like a quieter road, and we can see if we could do that launch control with the performance timer that you see here. So I'm pressing it right now, and I'm gonna start it even though we're at a stoplight, and there it goes, the performance timer. Unfortunately, we're at a stoplight, that's not gonna work. So another great driving dynamic of this car is when you put the top down, or the targa down, or the targa back. Again, it's just this open air feel, but when you put the windows up, again, just enough wind, just enough sun, but not so much where it makes your eyes dry and makes you uncomfortable. So again, it's a really cool driving experience. You get 2 different cars in one, and if you ever do get cold, you can get them pulled over and again, put that top right back on whenever you feel like. And a reminder, there is an option for a powered hardtop convertible roof, so you do not have to get in and out. But with that option, you lose what all mid-engine sports cars you know, thrive for, is that glass encasing overlooking the that motor sitting behind the back seat. So again, downside of having a powered convertible roof. Upside, you never have to get up and down and lift that you know, single piece of target roof. Let's go ahead and go over to. So I'm gonna mention later, but there's one thing I have to complain about with the C8 Corvette is the audio visual system. There's something cheap about the audio visual system. I'm not sure if you guys can see the home screen, but basically I've been having a lot of trouble connecting my Bluetooth to the C8 Corvette. So if anybody has those same issues, you know, make a comment below and let me know what you guys did to fix that issue. So a lot of the features on this media system require some sort of Google account or Google sign up. So even if you're trying to, for example, navigate, which most cars would allow you to do for free, apparently you have to buy a plan for this. So again, very kind of odd setup for the audio visual system. And I usually just get around this by, again, connecting to Apple CarPlay and just using your phone as a navigation. Alright, so we're gonna go try to look for a little empty industrial road or whatnot and see if we can play around this launch control. It looks like this is probably not the street to do it, but let's see where we can get to. Another interesting fact about the dash area, every so often on the top left corners you'd get like a green figurine of a person popping up. I was trying to figure out what that was. For the life of me I couldn't figure it out. And when I finally opened up the owner's manual, so essentially there's some sort of like pedestrian sensor. So when a person walks by, or the car senses a person walks by, there'll be a little green light that lights up to warn you that you know, be careful, you don't want to hit that person. So again, that's very interesting, great safety features for not only the driver of the C8 Corvette, but also you know, spectators of the C8 Corvette. So that's a great safety options for drivers and spectators.
To do that, you'll need a data plan from your vehicle manufacturer.
Again, this is just a reiteration of what I was saying about the media system. I just clicked this voice command. Essentially, in the previous video, I'm gonna link the video down below in the BMW 760i that I did. I love the voice command on there. You tell BMW to do something, they'll roll the windows down, they'll open all the doors. But when I click this one, essentially the voice command is telling me to pay him. This application requires a connected services subscription. So again, it's kind of odd. You're dropping $60,000, $70,000 to Chevy Corvette, and again, they're essentially charging you for additional services like something that is given in even basic cars nowadays, such as a Toyota Corolla or a Hyundai like Forte. So this car is not equipped with it, but there is a factory option for a factory front lift, which I feel is great because this car is actually optioned with the factory front spoiler, and I'll take a look at it, show you later. But again, it definitely has seen better days, and I really feel it's because the person did not option it with the front lift kit. So again, I wish that they did, but they didn't. But if you are speccing your C8, that's probably the first thing that you should check off on your list, because especially if you live in a big urban city like this in LA, there are potholes and steep driveways everywhere. I mean, if you see to the left of here, that thing, you're not going to get that. No one's going to Jack in the Box with a C8 with a driveway that steep. So again, there is an option for a factory front lift. This car does not have that. While we're at this light, I want to show you another interesting screen on here. So there's a screen called maintenance, and it's very interesting because when you go to that, it'll actually tell you essentially like the quality of your oil, and it'll actually also tell you like the quality of your air filter. So again, if you're ever wondering when's the last time you got an oil change, or if you're due for something, there is a maintenance screen that kind of maintains all your fluids and liquids in real time. So I think that's really helpful in maintaining your health of your C8, therefore your resale value of your C8 if you ever do decide to put it back in the open market. One small gripe I have about the steering wheel controls is basically to the bottom of the steering wheel, there's 4 buttons. To the right is the up and down for the volume buttons for the radio and so forth. And it's odd because all the buttons in the front, you press down in order to access it. But for these, when you press down, nothing happens actually. In actuality, to adjust those, you have to go behind the steering wheel and press up in order to adjust the audio volume. I found that kind of odd. So let's go over some pros of this base C8 Corvette. Again, value for your money. You're getting a 500 horsepower mid-engine, essentially as close to an exotic car as you can get. For again, brand new for under $70,000. This was listed at $68,000. And again, this is a 2024. There are some used examples of these base Stingrays in the 22-23 models that are slightly even cheaper, and also are still probably under factory warranty. So to get a mid-engine sports car with a factory warranty still in place, again, great dollar to your performance ratio. So again, you are definitely getting a great deal of value when it comes to the money you spend on the base Corvette. And another pro, and also additional value to this pro list of this Corvette C8, is the fact that you are actually getting 2 cars in one. So again, here you have the base Corvette, which again comes in a coupe version, but as a reminder, remember, this central roof section does come off, and I will demonstrate it to you with the magic of editing now. And there you have it, folks. Your value right in front of you. You just created your second car. Again, this car is a hardtop coupe, but the central top is essentially a targa top that again can be removed, creating essentially a convertible in my eyes, and it looks really great. And as a reminder, the entire roof stows away nice and clean right behind your mid-mounted V8 engine. So again, nice and clean, and again, just a great value for your dollar, because you just created a second car. It looks really great. So again, dollars to value ratio, another huge pro of the base C8 Corvette. Another pro that I give for the base C8 Corvette is their base C8 seats. So again, as a reminder, the C8 comes with 3 different types of seats: GT1s, GT2s, and GT3s. And depending on which trim level you get, the seats get a little more aggressive and have better trim, such as suede and Alcantara. But what I credit is, again, the base C8 seats. And let's go take a look at it and show you why. So a certain point in time in my young car enthusiast life, when I was in my younger years, I did have a Japanese car with a set of race bucket bridge seats, and I had them as my daily driver. And that was the most ridiculous decisions that I ever made when I was young. They're the most uncomfortable seats ever. But with the C8 base Corvette seats, again, these are the base GT1 seats, and if you can take a look at them, they're definitely race buckets, eight-way reclinable, but they are the most comfortable, again, race seats that I've ever sat in. Lots of side supports, lots of head support, and also you get that embroidered Corvette logo. But again, these are, again, just the base seats. They come 8-way power adjustable, but the biggest things about this is that the race seats are super comfortable to sit in. Let's go around to the other side. So again, not only are they really comfortable, and not only do they provide the support that you definitely do need, but again, these are the base seats, and Corvette does not charge you a dime from. They come basically factory optioned as such. So again, tall side bolsters on the sides to support you. You got the Corvette logo on top. So again, these are the base seats, and the biggest pros are, again, they are comfortable sitting in them, they are supportive, and also they don't cost you a thing when you do purchase your C8. So again, that is definitely another pro of the base C8. So I'm going to start the con list with one of the biggest annoyances of this vehicle, and basically it starts with the rear end, and it has nothing to do with the mid-engine setup. Well, actually maybe it does, but essentially one of the biggest frustrations and annoyance and biggest cons I can see is that the Corvette C8 has like zero rearward visibility. Essentially, when you are in the driver's seat, you cannot see out through the back of the car at all. It's actually downright like anxiety provoking. In fact, the whole time that I've had this car, I have this car for 24 hours, and I've only backed it out one time. And after that, I swore I would never ever back up the C8 Corvette ever again. So again, they have such thick side bolsters here, and people say, oh well, it's a mid-engine car, that's what it's supposed to be. But I've been in other mid-engine cars. For example, I've been in the Ferrari 408 GTB, and that one is also mid-engine, similar size, similar shape, and even similar color, and even that had better rearward visibility. So again, there's something about just like these thick just windows that I wish they would just open it up here. And this is not even a window, you can't even see through it. So again, I wish it would just open it up and put some windows on the side here so that you can see through it. And again, Corvette will tell you that, oh, it comes with the electronics, you know, the rear view digital mirror over here. That thing is essentially useless. So again, I'm sitting in a driver's seat right now, and if you look behind me, essentially you can see a little bit through the glass, but because of the double glass setup, there's also a lot of glare, so you can't really see through that either. You can't see through these thick B pillars. And essentially the only way that I feel comfortable, again, backing up this car ever again, is essentially to take the Targa top off and stick my head out and essentially take a peek around like I'm Groundhog or something. So again, that's one of the biggest cons of this car, is that backing up is just a very hard thing to do, and it's very anxiety provoking. And again, that's the biggest con that I see about this car, is that, again, that rear setup. I wish it would open it up just a little bit more. So again, I'm gonna start the second con of this base Corvette C8, and again, it starts with the rear end of it, and it starts with the this exhaust. This is equipped with the, again, essentially Corvette's quote-unquote factory race exhaust, and apparently it's supposed to have essentially it's like an adjustable exhaust. And even when I put it into track mode and really gun it, really step on it, even when I rev it up to X amount of RPM, the exhaust is actually as quiet as a mouse. I'm not really sure what's up with that. Maybe I'm just used to much louder V8s. But again, the con of this Corvette, even with the factory race exhaust, is the fact that again, it just doesn't sound exotic enough. I hear no pops, I hear no gurgles on downshifts. It's just again, it's just very muffled. So again, thank God for the aftermarket, but again, factory race exhaust is not that loud, so I can't imagine the stock OEM factory exhaust to be any louder. So again, another con. Corvette should have definitely opened it up and made the exhaust just a little bit louder for enthusiast's sake. And the last con of the C8 Corvette is essentially where I'm sitting right now, this infotainment screen. I find that this infotainment screen, essentially to me, it feels very non-user friendly. I've been unable to connect my Bluetooth. In addition, there's something just really cheap and cheesy about it. I'm not sure if it's the design or the look or the feel, but there's just something that's cheap about it. And furthermore, another thing that kind of frustrates me is that when you go to the drive modes, I'm not sure if I could do it with the car off. Let me see if I can do it with the car off. Well, I can't. Let me go and start it up. When you go into the drive mode of the car, you get this really cheesy like cutscenes, as if you're playing like Gran Turismo on a PlayStation. So I'll show you right now. So again, this is me going into sport mode. You get the little graphic, and then you go into track mode, then you get the race car. Again, it's just I get it, but again, I view these type of cars as a little more serious than this. And again, I feel like just creating these cartoonish cutscenes in the car kind of takes away from the spirit of what mid-engine Corvette or mid-engine sports car should be. I wish that they kind of got rid of that and just made it a little more serious, because again, you're taking a 500 horsepower X3 3-ton machine around you know, a track around the streets at triple digits, and it's not a video game. But again, something cheesy about it. I'm not really sure, but that's the other con I have, is this the whole infotainment setup and the drive modes with the visuals. It's a little too much. And the other con is actually kind of related to a pro of this car, is again the Targa roof, which is great. You can make it into a convertible or a coupe, but a big complaint is that in the factory book it says that it supposedly you could do it with one person, and you can, but if you've ever lifted that roof, that thing is pretty heavy. So again, a con is that they should have definitely made that Targa roof maybe just a little bit lighter. And I'm not sure if the transparent roof option or the carbon fiber option are lighter, but again, this is the factory colored option, and I can tell you right now, it's pretty heavy, and it's probably a little easier to do if you had two people. You could do it with one, but again, I'm not really sure what it's about. So yeah, con, they should have lightened up that Targa removable roof piece. But despite all those pros and cons, at the end of the day, this is the best dollar for value ratio that you're going to get for any mid-engine exotics. Lately, I've actually had my eye on another used mid-engine exotic, the Ferrari F360, and those prices are quickly approaching around 60, 70, 80,000, and you can actually get a brand new C8 Corvette for around that price. The biggest difference is that, again, you get the factory warranty. So again, I love the base C8. Not everyone needs 1,000 horsepower every single day from a ZR1. I don't think that's manageable. I don't think that's useful. But again, this car's value with performance and that mid-engine setup with a 500 horsepower, again, great dollar to value ratio. And again, you could buy this car and still help pay for your kids' college funds. So again, I really enjoyed this C8 Corvette. It was a blast to drive this past 24 hours, and I'm really looking forward to giving a try of the Z06 next. So thank you guys. If you enjoyed the video today, please like and subscribe to the Gas and Gavel YouTube channel, and we'll catch you next week where we may have a Z06.